Let's continue with some of the free agency moves that have happened so far. Free agency began yesterday at noon Eastern. Don't call it by any other name other than the start of free agency. The Lions have added DJ Chark to a one-year deal. Chark clearly out in Jacksonville after they added Christian Kirk and Zay Jones, and the Lions looking to add competent players whenever and wherever they can. They're looking for a certain type of player as they try to reshape the team. You know, it's this cultural reboot that they do every few years. The problem is it takes time to get the players that fit what the new regime wants, and hopefully ownership this time will give Brad Holmes and why am I blanking on Dan Campbell? I'm thinking ultimately it's Chris Spielman, who's got a lot of influence there. The old school linebacker mentality is what's coming through that organization. They're trying to get guys who fit that image that they're trying to project and build in Detroit, Chris.
No, they are. And DJ Chark is one of those guys, a little bit like Evan Ingram we talked about earlier, where you go, ooh, I wonder, he's got real potential. All right, it hasn't worked out exactly the way maybe he wanted to in Jacksonville. He got injured last year. But, man, 2 years before that, he showed signs of being kind of special. I mean, he's 6'3", he runs 4'3", he can fly, and it makes sense for a team, you know, to your point, with Detroit, you know, Chark is pretty tough. He is. I've heard some stories about him because Urban Meyer gave him a tough time early in the year. In fact, I was told that one of the reasons he got hurt or ended his year was he came back
Meyer
early.
Kicked him?
Yeah, well,
Meyer kicked him?
No, he came back early because Meyer was riding him so hard. And he practiced even though he shouldn't have, and that kind of finished off his foot or ankle for the year to where it was like, okay, he's done now. So, you know, he fits that mold, I think, and they probably have done their due diligence that way. And then I think when you talk about their receiving core in general, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a guy that can do a little everything, slot and outside, maybe more slot. Khalif Raymond's there. He's a smaller guy. He is a slot guy. And now you got a DJ Chark who can work outside and be, you know, the size guy, 50-50 guy, and just run by people. That's a good signing by them.
The Philadelphia Eagles, we mentioned them earlier as it relates to Deshaun Watson. They added Hassan Reddick, who had double-digit sacks last year. He had 11 last year. He had 12.5 in his contract year with the Arizona Cardinals. Does not stay in Carolina. Lands in Philadelphia on a 3-year deal. Thoughts on Reddick joining the Eagles, Chris?
Had to be done. I mean, the Eagles can't rush the passer. They don't like to blitz. They like to rush 4. All right? I mean, we talked about that at the end of the year. They're a little bit simplistic on that side of the ball. You know, and they were towards the bottom of the league, or let me just double check, towards the bottom, second to last in football in sacks last year. Had to be done. Let alone they run a scheme that's, you know, it's a lot like the Seattle scheme, or, you know, rooted in that, you know, Tony Dungy Tampa 2 cover 3, where they believe in, you know, guys that can get on the edge, get really wide, the wide 9 technique, and fly after the quarterback. And they have not had that guy there in Philadelphia. So Reddick, it's 2 years in a row where it's double-digit sacks, to where we question, wait, what position is he and all that stuff, to now we just go, damn, he's a legit force as a pass rusher. Went to Temple. I'm sure they have some pretty good history on him and know what he is as a guy. I thought that was an awesome signing by the Eagles. They needed that. Rich Gannon, defensive coordinator there, he needed that for his own defense in that scheme. Jonathan Gannon, not Rich Gannon. Damn, sorry.
Rich Gannon, yeah. That would be quite a career
Damn,
turn.
Rich is coaching defensive coordinator. Yeah.
Here's a surprise. The Cowboys keep DeMarcus Lawrence, a 3-year deal with $30 million guaranteed. They find a way to work it out and keep him around instead of letting him go, Chris. There was a thought he was on the way out. Lawrence, even though we've seen the production tail off and there was injury last year, they're keeping him around.
Yeah, that's big for the Cowboys. I mean, he's, as we talked about last week, he's, you know, really they're only blue chip defensive linemen. But there has been the injury history. I was interested to see if he might get out in the market and kind of just see, like, what's out there. Maybe can I get more than this? But I think it's a guy that, you know, he loves Dallas. He loves the Cowboys. He loves the Jones family. He knows a restart's not always that easy. He also, I think he's pretty realistic guy to know he's been injured. And he hasn't maybe, you know, given back his full as far as what he's been paid the last 2 years. But it's a great job by the Cowboys getting him. I mean, if he's not on their defensive line, it would change around my thought of their defense in general. He's a really good football player. Good by them.
And look, the Cowboys, they're one of these teams that every year is going to have cap issues. People were like, why didn't they go out and sign a bunch of guys yesterday? Got to have cap space to do it. And the Cowboys trying to hold together what they have. And it's always smart. We haven't made this point yet this year, but let me go ahead and make it now. You see all this money get thrown around early, and different teams have different motivations for doing it. It's always smarter to sit and wait and let the market settle. You're going to get better deals, unless you're the Steelers getting Mitchell Trubisky, but you're typically going to get better deals if you wait into next week. You get to the second phase. The money isn't flowing as freely. That's where the smart teams go. Right. But strategically, last year, look at the Patriots.
They did it
last year.
Every now and then
they went out and spent.
Yeah. Right. You said it right. It's dependent on your team. There's some teams that have some, desperate needs as far as like, wait, we got to change the way our whole perception of our team, or hey, wait, we're even though we're a good team, we have a desperate need at this position, and we got to be a player day one. And I think we saw that, a little mixture of all that yesterday with the NFL.
Yes,
this
absolutely.
being one of them, the Chiefs, right? We're going to talk about that. Chiefs, here's a team we know they're
defensive
damn good.
Side of the ball,
right?
Holding Frank Clark in place with a 2-year, $29 million deal. There was a thought he was going to be gone, and Tyrann Mathieu undoubtedly will be gone. He didn't get a new contract. He's a free agent. They go after safety Justin Reed instead on a 3-year, $31.5 million deal, trying to address some of the weaknesses that they had last year, hoping to get more out of Frank Clark. He's still facing felony weapons charges in California, but the league will not be putting him on any type of suspension or paid leave while that case goes forward. So the Chiefs making a bit of a calculated risk there that they're going to have Clark available, and my guess is the contract accounts for the possibility that things could go sideways for him in that pending criminal case. But, hey, in that conference and in that division, you better be worried about your defense, or you're going to have to score 50 points a game.
Yeah, lowered his cap number. He's still a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he got off to a bad start last year because, legal issues and a whole bunch of stuff going on. But at the end of the year, he was phenomenal. So it makes sense. And I think also, Mike, with guys like this, I always think about something you bring up a lot. And it's just, hey, they traded a lot and invested a lot in this guy to get him there a few years ago. And he helped them get over the hump to get to the Super Bowl. I don't think they want to let him out the door for nothing. So, yeah, they re-signed a guy that's been a big part of what they do there. I get that. And I'm not surprised to see them make the move at safety. I know you heard me say during the season a little bit and all that. And, hey, I mean, Tyrann Mathieu's good, but him being a part of the elite safety, top safety in football conversation has come and gone. And I don't say that, easily, because I really respect Tyrann Mathieu. But hey, you saw the end of the season too. I mean, there was some games there where you'd go, I don't remember him doing anything on the field. He's not the force he once was. Reed, young in his prime, more athletic, more explosive. I think it makes sense as far as the Chiefs are concerned.
Yeah, and they're going to have some work to do to keep up with the likes of the Chargers, the Broncos, and we'll see what the Raiders have in store. Broncos add defensive tackle DJ Jones on a 3-year, $30 million deal. Initial reaction to that, what do you think?
That to me it's like he's one of the guys that's like one of those under the radar, again, I think, like, wow, difference-making type of players that you don't call him a superstar, but I bet you that hurt Shanahan and Lynch watching DJ Jones walk out the door. They can't pay everybody. They know they're going to have to pay Nick Bosa soon. They got some issues they got to deal with here. They're going to have to pay Deebo Samuel. DJ Jones is like a phenomenal defensive tackle. Phenomenal. Like borderline star there. He really is. So for the Broncos to get him $10 million, E.J. Evero, new defensive coordinator there. He's going to be running that, Brandon Staley type of system. It's a guy that can defensive tackle, nose tackle, can do it all. He's a really, really awesome player that's not a household name yet.
Buccaneers keeping the band together. Carlton Davis, 3-year, $45 million deal to stay put. They kept Ryan Jensen, the center. They're doing what they can to hold it together now that Tom Brady's coming back. And, it's not a gigantic deal for Davis, but it gives him a chance to get to the market again in a few years. And I see 5-year deals. I see 3-year deals. I always want the shorter term because usually the stuff at the back end is fluff and it's more team friendly because it doesn't reflect where the salary cap's going to go. So if you can choose between shorter and longer deal, take the shorter deal always if you're the player.
That's right. I mean, any of these 4 or 5 year deals, we probably should say it that way. I mean, the 4 or 5 year deals are really 2-year deals with the guaranteed money. And the rest of it, you're going to have to play your ass off to earn those last 2 or 3 years of the deal. You know, like you said with J.C. Jackson, right? 5-year, $82.5 million, $20 million a year in the first 2 years. You got $40 million guaranteed. He's going to have to earn the rest of it. You know, or
Chris,
play so good and renegotiate it.
You're underpaid.
Exactly.
You play so good, you're underpaid.
Right. That's probably why he took it. He's probably going to take that angle a little bit and go, okay, well, even if I don't play my best, you know, okay, they can handle, you know, $16 million a year. It's not a killer to them. But yeah, like you said, it's usually set up that way. Carlton Davis, Todd Bowles, they want to blitz. They put their corners in tough positions other than against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's what they do. Davis didn't have his best year, but he's got, like, you know, top of the market type talent, in my opinion, as far as an island pure cover corner that way. And hey, Brady's back. They need guys like him, certainly.
Among the many moves the Packers have made in recent days, linebacker Devondre Campbell, 5-year, $50 million deal. He gets paid. He sticks around. And they need their defense to be ready to step up and perform. It's got to be a total team effort if they're going to get past the likes of the Rams, the Buccaneers, the elite teams in the NFC that have a knack for beating them in the postseason.
Yeah, right. And he's the perfect guy for the DJ Sharks, the Evan Ingrams of the world to go, look, here's a guy that signed a 1-year deal and then kicked some butt, and now he's getting $10 million a year on a new football team. You know, good for him, really. Kind of like refound himself in his career, found the perfect spot there. And, you know, you said it right, Mike. There's nobody in the middle of that defensive linebacker position that, you know, anybody knows, really. He's the only guy there. He's clearly their best player in the middle of the defense. He's long and big, and he can still run. So good signing by the Packers.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.